Hey, I am at the top of Happy Face for lap number 14, and for laps 14 and 15 I'm going to do something a little different this time. I have my 2016 Transition Smuggler, which is a much shorter travel bike than I've been riding for the last 3 years, so I'm going to try it out on Happy Face and see how it does. All right, here I am on my 14th lap of Happy Face this summer, and for the first time I'm riding it on my 2016 Transition Smuggler. I am also on flat pedals for the first time this year because I was too lazy to take my clipless off the Ripmo. So all kinds of new things. After I did lap 14 on my Transition Smuggler, I did lap 15 on my Ibis Ripmo, which is a much longer travel bike. And it was really interesting to compare the two. And while I'm not going to show my whole lap number 15, I did intercut some clips where you can compare the Downcountry bike with the longer travel bike, which I thought was super interesting. Here we go. So I had this bike for about 4 years, but since I got 4.5, since I got my Ripmo, I have not ridden it other than just like around our parking area. So this is quite a change. So the Transition Smuggler in 2016 is 130 in the front, 115 in the rear, 67.5 degree head tube angle. And one of the things that's interesting about it is that this bike existed before downcountry bikes existed as a marketing category. But by the numbers, it is definitely one of the first downcountry bikes in my opinion. Probably a little more steep in the head tube than an equivalent bike, an equivalent downcountry bike. And after not having the Smuggler for quite a while, Transition recently re-released a new version of the Smuggler, and my Smuggler is much closer in geometry and suspension to the Spur, which is their downcountry bike, than the new version of Smuggler. It is still a fun bike, but I don't know, definitely prefer the Ripmo. For even something like this that's pretty smooth, I just feel like I can push it more. With the wider tires, lower pressure, slacker front end, all of that. Although I'm sure if I was riding this more, I'd feel a little more comfortable on it. There's just it feels different. Oh God. Yeah, I do not feel as planted in the loose corners as I do on my Ripmo. Definitely feeling all the holes in the trail more. God, it's still a fun bike though. me, in the great bike debate of overbiking versus underbiking, I don't really think, I guess as long as you're not riding a downhill bike, that if you live somewhere like Tahoe, Truckee, or somewhere where you have access to trails that aren't completely flat, that it is hard to be overbiked with a modern full suspension, because the pedaling platforms have gotten so much better. Some people have the opinion that, having, I was making Grayson ride behind me, having too much suspension flattens out the trail and makes it boring, and they'd rather have more of a challenge on a shorter travel bike. And I also agree that you should just ride what makes you happy, as long as it's safe. I think people put too much stock in worrying about being overbiked. But for me, riding both this Smuggler for years and then now the Ripmo on the same types of trails, they're both fun, but fun in a different way. I really just feel like I can push myself so much harder on the Ripmo versus something like this. And with this bike, I was getting to the point where there's a lot of stuff I could pick my way through, but not ride aggressively or confidently. And, oh God, yeah, felt that more. And I can feel so much more confident and ride things faster and better on the Ripmo, and not reach the point where it makes these kinds of trails boring. I just challenge myself on something new. Just on each ride, part of doing the riding happy face so many times this summer, just to see what that feels like. Yeah, still think this is a great bike though. I keep saying I'm gonna sell it, but hasn't happened yet, and riding it today makes me not want to. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see the time comparisons. Not riding super hard or anything, just because, like I said, I feel less confident on it, and I'm on the flats. But I am definitely curious how it compares to my normal speeds, especially on the uphill. Yeah, the Ripmo, well, great on the steeper and more rocky stuff. Really feel the difference in the flat rocky sections, that just pedals so much better over the flat rocky sections, especially because you can't get enough speed up to smooth things out. Well, that was fun, and I'm glad I did it, but I don't think the Smuggler is going to become my regular happy face bike.